Ladies and gentlemen, there is something incredibly powerful about a woman who walks alone. It is not a sign of weakness, nor does it imply a lack of connection or love. It speaks to a deep well of inner strength, independence, and an unshakable confidence in who she is. In a world where relationships, friendships, and societal validation are often seen as the ultimate goals, walking alone is a radical act of self-empowerment. It's a declaration that you are enough, just as you are, and that you can thrive in your own company without needing the validation of others to feel whole. When a woman chooses to walk alone, she is embracing her independence. She understands that her worth is not contingent on anyone else's approval, opinion, or company. She knows that true freedom comes from within, from a deep sense of knowing who she is and what she stands for. She does not need to be constantly surrounded by people to feel important or validated. The journey she is on is hers and hers alone, and she walks it with the confidence of someone who knows that her path is just as meaningful, just as valuable as any other. Independence doesn't mean isolation, it means self-sufficiency. It means you are your own source of strength, inspiration, and fulfillment. And then there's the freedom that comes with breaking free from society's expectations. Society has a way of putting pressure on women to follow certain paths, to get married, to have children, to conform to a specific version of success. But the woman who walks alone understands that she is not confined by these rules. She is not bound by the timeline others have set for her. She has the courage to choose her own path, to create her own definition of success. She knows that her life doesn't have to look like anyone else's for it to be meaningful. Her worth is not measured by the number of people she keeps in her circle, the titles she holds, or the milestones she's expected to reach. Her worth is determined by the love she has for herself and the way she honors her own journey. Walking alone also brings strength in solitude. It's in these moments of solitude that a woman learns who she truly is. It's in the quiet that clarity arrives, where decisions are made, and where vision is born. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. It's an opportunity to reconnect with the deepest parts of yourself. Solitude offers a space for self-reflection, personal growth, and spiritual renewal. It's in this space that a woman learns to trust her own voice, to rely on her own instincts, and to recognize that the answers to her deepest questions are already within her. She doesn't need anyone to tell her who she is or where she's going. She's already equipped with everything she needs to navigate her own path. Now, we cannot ignore that walking alone can sometimes feel like a lonely journey. At times, loneliness can creep in and doubts can arise, but it is in these moments that a woman discovers her true resilience. She learns that loneliness doesn't have to break her, it can make her stronger. It is in solitude that she finds the strength to rise again, to keep moving forward, even when the world feels heavy. Loneliness is not a burden, it is a teacher. It teaches patience, it teaches self-reliance, and it teaches the importance of trusting the process, even when you don't see the whole picture. A woman who walks alone learns that she is capable of facing challenges and triumphing over them, and that nothing can take away her ability to move forward. And finally, a woman who walks alone is a woman with purpose. She understands that her journey is not random or aimless. Every step she takes is a step towards the life she has envisioned. She knows that her path, though sometimes solitary, is leading her somewhere incredible. She is creating a legacy not just for herself, but for others who will see her walk and be inspired. She is laying the foundation for her dreams to take root, to blossom, and to become a reality. Her purpose is clear and her vision is unwavering. She does not need anyone else to define her path because she has already claimed it for herself. So let us celebrate the woman who walks alone. She is not lost, she is walking with a sense of direction, with a clear purpose, and with the strength that comes from knowing who she is. Her independence is not isolation, it's freedom. Her solitude is not loneliness, it's a space for growth. Her resilience is not weakness, it's a reflection of the power she carries within. And her journey is not empty, it's filled with meaning, with intention, and with the kind of purpose that only a woman who walks alone can truly understand. She walks alone, but she is never truly alone. She walks with the power of her own vision, her own strength, and the belief that every step she takes is leading her to something extraordinary. Embracing independence is one of the most empowering decisions a woman can make in her life. It's more than just standing alone, it's about stepping into your own power, realizing your worth, and fully owning the life you are creating for yourself. Too often, society places expectations on women, expectations that define who they should be, what they should want, and how they should live. But when a woman embraces independence, she frees herself from those expectations. She is no longer tethered to anyone else's timeline or standard. Instead, she begins to create her own path with her own rules and her own dreams. Independence isn't about rejecting relationships or distancing yourself from others. It's about knowing that your worth, your value, and your sense of self come from within, not from external validation. When a woman embraces independence, she understands that she is whole, complete, and capable on her own. She doesn't need to rely on anyone else to feel worthy or important. She has the confidence to stand tall, regardless of the circumstances or the opinions of others. She trusts herself, trusts her decisions, and takes full responsibility for the choices she makes. She knows that she is the one who gets to shape her future. One of the most powerful aspects of embracing independence is the ability to make decisions for yourself. When you are no longer looking for permission or approval, you are free to choose what aligns with your heart and soul. You make choices based on what will bring you joy, fulfillment, and growth. Independence gives you the ability to say yes to the things that truly matter to you and no to the things that drain your energy or pull you off course. It allows you to honor your values and trust that the decisions you make are in alignment with your purpose. It's about living life on your own terms and not allowing others to dictate the direction you take. Embracing independence also means developing self-sufficiency. It's about realizing that you have the strength and capability to face challenges, to navigate life's twists and turns, and to overcome obstacles without depending on anyone else to solve your problems. This doesn't mean you can't ask for help when needed, but it means knowing that you are resourceful, capable, and resilient enough to handle life's difficulties on your own. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way with grace, confidence, and strength. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't wait for circumstances to change, but instead creates the change herself. There is a certain kind of peace that comes with independence. When you embrace it, you learn to be content with your own company. You realize that you are your own best friend and that you don't need external approval to feel good about yourself. Independence frees you from the constant comparison to others, the pressure to conform, or the need to constantly prove your worth. You begin to find joy in the small, quiet moments, in the things that matter most to you, without needing anyone else to affirm them. You learn to enjoy the freedom of being able to take up space in the world without feeling guilty or apologetic for it. You realize that you are enough exactly as you are, and that you are worthy of every good thing that comes into your life. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of embracing independence is the way it allows you to become the best version of yourself. When you stop waiting for permission, when you stop looking for others to approve of you, when you stop playing by someone else's rules, you step into your full potential. Independence allows you to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, and to explore new opportunities without the fear of judgment. It gives you the courage to live a life that is true to you, and it encourages you to dream bigger, reach higher, and pursue your passions without hesitation. You begin to see yourself not as a reflection of other people's expectations, but as a powerful, capable woman who is fully equipped to create the life she desires. Embracing independence doesn't mean you have to do everything alone, but it does mean that you have the strength to stand in your own power. It means that you trust yourself, value yourself, and honor the person you are becoming. You learn to say goodbye to the people, places, and things that no longer serve you, and you make room for the things that truly matter. You learn to celebrate yourself, to take pride in your journey, and to embrace the woman you are becoming. It's about living a life that reflects your true self, not the version that others expect you to be. When a woman embraces independence, she becomes unstoppable. She steps into her greatness, fully aware of her worth and her capabilities. She no longer feels the need to fit into someone else's mold because she knows that she is capable of creating her own path. She understands that the greatest freedom is not in relying on others, but in knowing that she has everything she needs within herself to live a fulfilling, empowered life. So embrace your independence, stand in your power, trust your journey, and know that you are more than capable of creating a life that is rich with purpose, fulfillment, and joy. Breaking free from society's expectations is not an easy task. In fact, it often feels like swimming against the current, like you are being pulled in one direction while your heart and soul are calling you to swim in the opposite. Society has a way of shaping our perceptions, telling us how we should look, what we should achieve, and when we should do it. There are milestones that are set for us, a timeline we're expected to follow. But what happens when we don't fit into that mold? What happens when we realize that the expectations placed on us are not in alignment with who we truly are? That is when the real work begins, the work of breaking free. To break free from society's expectations is to reclaim the power over your own life. It is to say, I will define my own path. I will write my own story. It is choosing to live authentically, even when the world around you wants you to fit into a box that was never designed for you. It is about saying no to the pressure of conformity and yes to your own vision, your own dreams, and your own definition of success. And yes, it will be hard at times. Yes, there will be moments when the pressure to conform feels almost unbearable, but there is power in knowing that you have the freedom to choose. Breaking free from these expectations requires courage, the courage to be different, the courage to stand tall when others are telling you to shrink, the courage to step into the unknown when everyone else seems so sure of their path. It is in that courage that you will find your true power. It's in that courage that you will discover the depth of your own strength. And as you take that first step away from the expectations that have held you back, you will feel the weight of the world begin to lift. You will begin to breathe in the freedom that comes with living your life on your own terms. We often think that breaking free means rejecting society altogether, but it doesn't mean that at all. It's about embracing the parts of society that align with your values and passions while releasing the parts that confine you. Society may offer a blueprint for life, but it is not the only blueprint. There are many roads to take, many ways to live, and many ways to succeed. You do not have to follow the same path as everyone else to be fulfilled. You do not have to live someone else's dream to be happy. It's your life. You get to decide what that looks like. In this journey of breaking free, you will have to be strong enough to silence the voices that tell you that you're not enough as you are, that you need to be someone else to fit in. These voices might come from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers who have their own idea of who you should be. But remember this, you are the only expert on your own life. You are the only one who truly knows the desires of your heart, the dreams that are meant for you. And while it's important to listen to advice and guidance, it's equally important to trust yourself. Trust your instincts, trust the wisdom that comes from within. When you break free from the expectations of others, you begin to tap into a well of creativity, intuition, and power that is yours and yours alone. There is a profound strength in solitude, a power that is often underestimated, misunderstood, and overlooked. In a world that constantly pushes us to seek validation through others, to surround ourselves with noise and distraction, solitude is sometimes seen as a weakness, a place of loneliness or emptiness. But in truth, solitude is not something to fear. It is a space of immense growth, clarity, and transformation. The strength in solitude lies in its ability to strip away the superficial, to silence the external chaos, and to reveal the depths of who we truly are. When we choose solitude, we are choosing to step away from the demands of the world and into the quiet of our own minds and hearts. In that stillness, we are able to listen to the voice within, the voice that often gets drowned out by the hustle and bustle of daily life. Solitude gives us the space to connect with our true selves, to uncover desires, dreams, and passions that have been buried under layers of external influences. In solitude, we are forced to confront the parts of ourselves we may have ignored, the parts we've been running from, the parts that need healing. It is in this space of solitude that we find the courage to face our deepest fears and the strength to heal from past wounds. There is power in being alone with our thoughts. Often we seek distraction because we fear facing the uncomfortable truths within ourselves. But when we embrace solitude, we allow those truths to come to the surface. We can no longer hide from the things that need to be healed, the dreams that need to be pursued, or the truths that need to be acknowledged. It is in the silence of solitude that we discover the clarity we have been seeking all along. The noise of the world fades away, and what remains is a deep knowing, a sense of purpose, and an understanding of what truly matters. Solitude is not simply about being alone. It is about being with ourselves in a meaningful way. It's about connecting to the parts of ourselves that may have been neglected or ignored. In solitude, we come face to face with our own strength. We realize that we are capable of standing tall or standing firm, even when no one is there to cheer us on. The strength in solitude comes from the realization that we do not need others to complete us. We are already whole. We are already enough. In that space, we learn to rely on our own resources, to trust our own wisdom, and to understand that the answers we seek are often already within us. Solitude also brings peace. It gives us the chance to slow down, to breathe, and to reconnect with the present moment. In our busy lives, we often rush from one task to another, rarely stopping to appreciate the simple joys of life. Solitude allows us to savor the small moments, to find beauty in the quiet, and to cultivate gratitude for what we have right now. When we embrace solitude, we embrace peace. We learn to be still, to rest in the present, and to let go of the pressure to constantly be doing something. In that stillness, we are reminded that we do not have to strive for perfection, and that sometimes the greatest strength lies in simply being present with ourselves. There is a quiet power in solitude that many of us overlook. It is a power that comes from deep within, a strength that is unshakable because it is rooted in our connection to ourselves. When we embrace solitude, we step into our own power, our own wisdom, and our own potential. We learn to stand strong, not because we are surrounded by others, but because we know who we are and what we are capable of. Solitude is not a punishment, it is a gift, a tool for growth, and a wellspring of strength. It is in those quiet moments when we are alone that we discover the fullness of who we are and the boundless strength that resides within us. Resilience in the face of loneliness is one of the most powerful qualities a person can develop. It's easy to think of loneliness as something that isolates us, something that holds us back and makes us feel disconnected from the world around us. But when we shift our perspective, we realize that loneliness is not the end of the road. It is, in fact, a place where resilience can be born. Loneliness doesn't have to define us, it can refine us. It can teach us how to find strength in places we never thought possible. Loneliness often shows up when we least expect it, when we're in between chapters in life, when we're going through change, or when we feel like the world is moving on without us. But it is in these moments of solitude that we have an incredible opportunity to discover who we truly are, to reconnect with ourselves, and to find strength in the stillness. The truth is, we don't always get to control when we feel alone or how long that feeling lasts. But what we can control is how we respond to it. And when we choose resilience, we choose to stand strong in the face of loneliness rather than allowing it to consume us. Resilience means we do not let our circumstances dictate our worth. It means that even when we feel disconnected, we can still find ways to build connection, first with ourselves and then with the world around us. It's about reminding ourselves that we are enough, no matter how empty the room may feel. When we face loneliness, we often find ourselves questioning whether we matter, whether anyone sees us, or whether we are truly loved. But resilience teaches us that our value is not determined by the people who are present in our lives at any given moment. It is rooted in the truth that we are worthy of love and connection simply because we exist. Our worth is not contingent on external validation or the presence of others. It is inherent. But loneliness can also be an opportunity for deep personal growth. When we are alone, we are given the space to reflect, to heal, and to reawaken parts of ourselves that we may have neglected. It's in the quiet moments that we hear our own voice most clearly. It's when we are alone that we are forced to confront the things we've been running from, the things we've kept hidden, and the things that need healing. But it's through facing these things head on that we gain strength. We don't grow in comfort, we grow in the challenge, in the stretching, in the moments when we think we can't go on but find that we can. Resilience is not the absence of pain or difficulty, it's the ability to press forward, to rise above, and to keep going, even when the road feels long and uncertain. What makes a person resilient is their ability to adapt. Life rarely goes exactly as we expect, and loneliness is no different. But instead of allowing it to become a permanent state, resilient individuals find new ways to adapt to their circumstances. They learn how to fill their own cup, how to enjoy their own company, and how to find peace in their own thoughts. They tap into creativity, embrace hobbies, explore new interests, and find meaning in solitude. This adaptability is key to building resilience because it teaches us that even when things aren't ideal, we have the power to make the best of the situation. In the face of loneliness, we can choose to cultivate joy and fulfillment on our own terms. Resilience also teaches us that loneliness does not have to be permanent. It's easy to believe that once we feel lonely, we will always feel lonely, but that is not true. Loneliness is a season, not a lifetime. And just as seasons change in nature, so too does the season of loneliness. Resilience lies in holding on to hope, in knowing that things will shift. There will be new connections, new relationships, and new opportunities for love and companionship. But in the meantime, resilience helps us stay rooted in who we are, trusting that our future is full of possibilities, and that this moment of loneliness is simply preparing us for something greater. Loneliness, when embraced with resilience, can become a catalyst for transformation. It can awaken the dormant strength inside of us and teach us how to find peace in our own company. It can show us that we are not defined by our solitude, but by how we handle it. And in doing so, we emerge from loneliness not only stronger, but more connected to ourselves, more compassionate towards others, and more ready to embrace the next chapter of our lives. Resilience in the face of loneliness is not just about surviving, it's about thriving in the midst of it, knowing that this season too will pass and that greater things are waiting for us on the other side. Resilience in the face of loneliness is not just about enduring the solitude, it's about transforming it into a source of strength. It's about choosing to rise above the challenges and discovering a deeper sense of self, understanding that every moment of loneliness holds the potential for personal growth, healing, and renewed purpose. You are not defined by the times you are alone, but by how you embrace those times, how you adapt, and how you continue to press forward, even when the path seems unclear. Know that loneliness is a season, and with resilience, it will pass. What remains is a stronger, wiser, and more empowered version of yourself, ready for the connections and opportunities that await. Embrace your journey, trust in your strength, and remember you are never truly alone when you have yourself to rely on.